To the knockout stages we go with the ladies. That's right, Euro 2022 into the final 8. England are there, so are Germany. What's going to happen in the Power 4 matches? We're going to take a look at it, all of it, next. That's right, folks. Pam's giving a prediction video. Today we're taking a look at the 2022 Euros for the ladies, of course, over in England, and we're going to predict the quarterfinals for you in just 1 second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe and bang up today. All things Euro 22 related, Papa Rovers related. World Cup is coming at ya later in the year. All here under one Ruski, of course, but right here, right now, our focus is on the ladies' game, and England are in prime time position to get themselves handed on a bit of silverware, of course, as they look forward to getting into the final 8. Standing away will be Spain, and of course also on the horizon are the likes of Germany, Sweden, and maybe even France. We'll take a look at all of it in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, guys. You know who you are. But anyway, let's get into it, of course, and take a little look at how we all got to the stage, of course, with a recap of the final round of matches. So here we go. All right, then, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look back at, of course, how we all got on in the last round of matches. That's, of course, match day number 3. Now we're going to take a look at groups A through D. Of course, those are, I think, 8 matches to get into it. So here they come, starting with the games which were involved in match number 3, part 1, groups A and B. Northern Ireland against England was, of course, a one-sided affair. 5-0 it was in the end, 3-0 for me. Ain't too shabby, boys. I'll take that to the bank. Yes, I will. Austria against Norway was a big 1-0 win for Austria, knocking out Norway in the process. Austria will go through alongside England to represent them in, of course, the next round, of course. Shame, Norway were a bit of a shit show, of course. That England defeat probably knocked the stuffing right out of them, probably cost somebody their job as well. Meanwhile, Finland against Germany, 3-0 it was, got the one bang on point. Well done to me on that one. And Denmark, they did not beat Spain. Spain did beat Denmark, knocking them out as well. So Spain, Germany, Austria, and England go through to the knockout stage, and we'll take a look at those in a minute. Moving on to Group C and D now. Switzerland, of course, lost to Netherlands. Big result for them. Bounce back ability. Of course, 2-1 for me. 4-1 final score. Sweden against Portugal. 5-0 demolition for the Swede. They are the real deal. 2-0 for me. Ain't too shabby on that either. Meanwhile, Iceland, they did lose to La France. No, sorry, they drew. France go through, though. Iceland, they are out. Out. Whatever. Moving on to Italy against Belgium. That also was a 1-0 win for Belgium. Italy, of course, were a bit shit as well this campaign. So as you were, really, let's take a little look. And we'll get to your picks in a minute, but let's take a look with the Prediction League coming at you right here, right now. Still time to enter if you could get in now. There is a few games left, but basically you should be really joining from the start. When I say join the Super Brews for the domestic leagues, you should be joining the Super Brew for the domestic leagues. But anyway, let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Here I am down here, but here I am. This is what I'm talking about. It is the Super Brew, is our Super Deep Prediction League. It is for fun, but this is the state of play right here, right now. As you can see, I'm sitting pretty in a terror. This is just for this round, I believe. I got 6 points, which is pretty shit. I'm not too sure. That's about right. It's about right. How did I do that? I got 3 points for one exact scoreline and 3 very, very close, and the other 4, I tell you, were pretty atrocious. But Judy with 13 points, well scooped there. Hansworth also 13 points. So they did very, very well for the grand scheme of things. But that's just the round leaderboard. What about the actual leaderboard? Well, the actual leaderboard looks a little bit like this. Much better for me. I'm into 6th spot. I'm about 12 points off the lead, though. Hansworth's running away with it. 8 points bang on the nose. 7.5 points for 1.5. Blah, 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 blah. We'll take from what you will. It's a little bit complex to read, but realistically, that's where it's at. Hansworth is running away with it. 10 of us are in it. Millie's had a stinker, but you know what? It's the nature of the beast. So if you want to get involved, there, of course, is the link-a-rooney for that. And here is a quick look at the tables then, shall we? England are through. Austria joining them as well. England 100% yet to concede a goal as well. Austria go through with just 1 defeat. And as you can see, not too shabby in regards to their their results so far. Norway go out, Northern Ireland, a bit of a damp squib. Germany also go through, yet to concede a goal either, yet to concede a point. Spain are also with them, could be a difficult opponent for England, we'll imagine, on that one. Group C, La Sueda through, a bit of a tricky one there, so level on points with the Dutchies. I'm sure they drew against each other. The Swiss go out, Portugal also not in the races here, and France go through as well. Hiccup perhaps alongside Iceland at the end there, but they're going to be joined by La Belgium into the knockout stages. Here we go, folks. Here we bloody go into, of course, the knockout stages, and here are those illustrious quarterfinals, and they are over there. I am stuck right here, so of course pay attention to the point, and we're going to take a look at them one by a bloody one. Starting with the top of the shop here, of course, the hosts and probably favourites for the title. Let's have a quick look at the odds there. England are favourites to win this, but of course there are some competitors that will go and challenge them the distance as well. So we're going to start with, of course, England up against Spain. That's going to take place on Wednesday, the 20th of July, not too long away. So make sure you get your picks in nice and early. Of course, played each other 8 times in 2010, 4 wins for England, 2 wins for Spain, 2 draws, of course. England, though, coming to this, haven't lost in the last 17 games, haven't lost any of the last 11 home games either. 100% form for them, 6 wins on the bounce at the very least. Meanwhile, Spain coming to this, just 1 defeat past 6, 75% form for them. Of course, their biggest win over England, just a 1-0 win, compared to England's 2-0 win, their biggest win over Spain. Of course, we'll tell you about that in a minute. 11 goals scored by England against Spain over the course of those 8 matches, and Spain has scored 8 goals in return, works around about a goal a game, compared to England's 1.38 goals per match as well. Last time they played each other was a 0-0 draw back in February, earlier in the year, over in the Arnold Cup, of course, Arnold Cup. In fact, England have gone back-to-back games now without a win against Spain, and back-to-back games without scoring a goal against Spain. Will it be a three-peat? We'll have to wait and see. England coming into the back of that 5-0 win against Northern Ireland. They've scored 13 goals over the last 14 goals in this tournament so far, and yet to concede. Meanwhile, Spain coming to us on the back of that 1-0 win over Denmark. Of course, we'll look to bounce back as well. The odds here, even Stevens are your England ladies. 5-2 is the draw. That's, of course, to drag it into extra time and maybe even penalties. And 12-5 is your away win here for Spain. I don't think it's going to happen. I've gone with a cheeky 3-1 win for England. And they'll go through to the semi-finals where they'll face either the Swedes or the Belgians. And, of course, will be putting them in a prime-time position to get themselves to the final indeed itself. So Sweden up against Belgium is next. That match actually takes place on Friday, the 22nd of July. Let's get in the deep end on this one then, shall we? Of course, played each other 2 times in 2009. Sweden have won both of them. They come into this on the back of 8, actually unbeaten in the last 15 games. 83% form over the last 6, winning 4, of course, and drawing 2. Belgium, though, coming to this, just 1 defeat the past 4, 58% form. In fact, Sweden's biggest win over Belgium was a 4-1 win. And of course, that was, we'll tell you about that in a minute. They've actually scored 6 goals compared to Belgium's 2 over the course of those 2 games, stretching all the way back to 2009. Of course, last time around, it was a 4-1 win for Sweden over Belgium way back in 2009. That was back in October in the World Cup qualifying campaign. Back then it was. Meanwhile, of course, Italy did lose to Belgium last time around, of course, as La Suede with a big 5-0 win over Portugal to really flex their muscles, of course, as they enter the knockout stages. The odds for this one then, shall we? Sweden 11-4 on. That's, of course, to win this game in 90 minutes. 7-2 is your draw here, and 8-1 is your long shots. That's Belgium. Of course, Belgium are fraudsters here. I do anticipate Sweden to comfortably come through this and set up a barnstorming semi-final against England. 2-0 for me for Sweden. They are through. They are home and host, and again, a clean sheet to boot. Moving on forward, though, we have Germany against Austria, of course, in a Central European classic. That's right. Of course, these two sides have played each other 2 times in 2016. 2 wins are 2 for Germany, and Germany coming into this on the back of a winning run of 4 games. 83% form up against an Austria side have just lost once in the past 5. 67% form for them as well. Germany's biggest win over Austria was a 3-1 win. They've scored 7 goals compared to Austria's 3 since 2016. Works out around about 3.5 goals game ratio compared to the 1.5 goals game ratio for Austria. Heading into this, though, last time they played was a 3-1 win for Germany. That was back in October 2018, and they come into this. That was a friendly, though, and Germany did beat Finland earlier 3-0. It was in the last match, and yet to concede a goal in this tournament. Austria, though, back-to-back clean sheets as well, picking up a 2-0 win over Northern Ireland, a 1-0 win over Norway, and only a narrow defeat against England when you consider what kind of results they've been putting up so far. Just a 1-0 win for England, gives Austria a bit of credit here. So this will be a difficult game here, I imagine. 7-2 on, though, is your Germany. Red hot favourites to win this one. 92 is your draw. 72 is your bloody long shots. I am backing the Germans here to go the distance and get a 4-0 drubbing, which of course will give them a benchmark a benchmark result heading into the semi-finals, where they'll take on the winners of France and the Dutchies. Of course, this match will take place on Saturday the 23rd. We'll have to wait till then to complete the dates of the semi-finals, of course, taking place at the Rotherham Stadium, New York Stadium, of course. 8 times these two nations have played each other. 4 wins for France, 2 wins for the Dutchies, and 2 draws, of course. France, though, unbeaten in the last 17 matches, of course, winning 5 of the last 6, 92% form. Up against the Dutchies, who are unbeaten in the last 5, 75% form for them as well. They haven't, of course, France's biggest win over the Dutchies, 3-0 win. The biggest win, and the other way was a 2-1 win, of course. And the goals scored between these two sides, 19 goals scored by France over the Dutch in those 18 matches, works out around about 2.38 goals a game. Up against the Dutchies, of course, 14 goals scored against La France, works out around about 1.75 goals a game. So take from that from what you will. Last time they played, there was a 3-1 win for La France back earlier in the year, in February 2022, in the Tournoi de France. Last time the Dutchies won was I don't even know when the last time. When was the last time the Dutchies won? 2-1 it was back in 2015, of course, about 7 years ago. It's been a while, folks. The Dutchies, though, coming to this on the back of a 4-1 win over the Swiss. Of course, the French, bit of a shit show against Iceland, of course, 1-1 it was in the end. 11-8 on as your France, they, of course, favoured to do very, very well in the back end of the tournament. 30-5 is your draw, and 7-2 is your bloody Dutchies on this one. Which way is it going to go? I'm going to go with the Dutchies here. Maybe even my first surprise of the night. No, I've gone for the French. I've gone with the French. 2-1 it is in the end. Wow, that's a surprise. That is a surprise. Why is that a surprise? I don't know. But I'll give you the odds right here, right now. The 8th favourites to win the title right here at this stage are the Belgian ladies. Of course, 100-1. Austria 66-1. Despite that, of course, benchmark results in their group stages. Netherlands are 16-1. Of course, they were spanked by England in a friendly before this. The Spanish are 7-1. Sweden are 5-1 to make, of course, the semi-finals anyway. France 10-3. Maybe, of course, they anticipate a weaker semi-final. Of course, Germany 3-1, second favourites. But England are 11-4 to go the distance and win the Piston Trophy. That, my friends, is just about it. Moving forward, though, if you want to get involved with the prediction, hang on a minute. Go back. Yes, this is what it'll look like. This is what it'll bloody look like. Get that in your veins. It'll be England-Sweden semi-final, Germany-French semi-final, and of course it could end up being a barnstorming final between England and Germany, of course. But if you do want to get involved with the prediction league, there is the link, cut.ly/Euro22. It is free. It is a good bit of fun. You might get your name in lights. I am still taking applicants, so make sure you get involved. But that is it, guys. Make sure you, of course, come back for the semi-final predictions. Do you think England will go the distance? Do you think they'll be stopped along their way by Sweden or maybe even Spain? Can they cause some upsets along the way? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Of course, make sure you check out the Cat's predictions, of course, as she looks forward to the tournament as well. But until then, we're done right now. Smash your subscribe, smash the thumbs up. I'll see you soon for the next.